Wow. England beat San Marino 10-0. Wow, what an international break. Brilliant, right? This is what I've been waiting for all my life. Anyway, welcome back to Almighty Blues FC, a fan channel for all to see. I hope you are doing great because we are back. Yes, it is the Premier League which is back this weekend, and we had to come to you all with a big preview against Leicester City, whom Chelsea is playing, and we have a big guest again from Leicester Till I Die TV, Chris. Chris, welcome to the channel again. Glad that you're back.
Good evening, Ankit. Yeah, thanks very much for having me back on. It has been a while, or seems like it. Although I think that last season we did play each other quite close to each other. There's a couple of games there. There was obviously the FA Cup final that we kind of won, and then of course the Battle of the Bridge when all hell broke loose at the end. What is it with Chelsea and matches like that? Yeah, Spurs a couple as well when we won the Premier League, but we have to thank you for that. It's great. I hope you're keeping well, and I hope your channel's coming along well. And I say thank you very, very much for having me back on from Leicester Till I Die, which is my channel, believe it or not. But no, thank you.
As I always say, I love your channel, great content, and again, for viewers watching below, just check the description and you'll find the links there. Leicester Till I Die TV, as well as obviously Almighty Blues FC. Just the press of a button. Do subscribe if you have not, and press that bell notification icon on both these channels so that you know when content comes. And just like Almighty Blues FC, Leicester Till I Die TV is a channel for everyone to see as well. So I would highly recommend it. And if you have not yet smashed the like button, what are you doing? Come on. So Chris, getting into it. Brendan Rodgers, the talk of the town, going to Manchester United possibly, and I know you have gone on record. You have gone on record, I must say, about possibly having Brendan Rodgers babies. Would you still have them or no? Because there is a high chance that he may actually go to Manchester United. I believe there's a clause in his contract that allows him to do so. So, what are your thoughts regarding that?
Oh, rumours about Brendan Rodgers. I could write a book on the rumours about Brendan Rodgers, but not just about Brendan Rodgers, in fairness. It's about any player or any manager that we have. We are now an established club. We'll never be a Big Six club. The Big Six club is Sky's invention, because we know you get the audience worldwide, but it doesn't mean that you're the six most successful clubs, because when do you start that? When do you finish that? But we do know we are in a pecking order. And, as we would go to Celtic to pinch the manager, or we might go down to Hull or Swansea or somewhere like that, then obviously the bigger clubs come and want to poach our players and manager. And it's the same with, look at Everton last season, big club, Ancelotti, big manager, Real Madrid come knocking, and off he goes. So it is all very much a pecking order. So Brendan Rodgers joined us, obviously controversially, not unlike Steven Gerrard from Rangers to Villa. And when he came, it was amazing that we'd managed to get Brendan Rodgers, and amazing that we'd got him to come from Celtic to join us. The thing we've got to remember is that Brendan Rodgers it's how can I put this? Brendan Rodgers, I knew when he came, I don't think he'll be with us. He's not going to be an Arsene Wenger. He's not going to be a Sir Alex Ferguson and with us for that sort of length of time. He went to Scotland to resurrect his career after Liverpool. He kind of did that. He got them to do all the, a couple of trebles, etc. And he won them a lot of trophies while he was there. But I think, like with Gerrard, English managers especially, and not just English managers, they kind of use Scotland as a stepping stone. And he knew that he had to re-educate himself and integrate himself into the Premier League people's thoughts. And by doing that, we'll be coming to a club like Leicester and having success with us. Now, do you call 2 top 5 finishes and an FA Cup in 2 seasons successful? I think you do. Certainly for a club like Leicester, you do. So we'll know who will go at some time. You know, according to the newspapers, he's house hunting in Cheshire, and I mean, he's still got a house. Well, as he sold his house now to Klopp, I think. But his wife's from that area, and the money he's on is the 4th highest paid manager. So it's not necessarily about money, but obviously we accept that managing Man United, it is a big club. It is a name. It is one of those things that only comes along so often. The difference here is that Brendan's happy. He's come out and said he doesn't want Newcastle. Now, to say that you don't want to go and manage Newcastle, which are the biggest club or the richest club in the world now, that says something, you know, because of the relationship he's got at Leicester. The pressure you get, you know, you can win the Champions League for Chelsea and get sacked the next season. You can win the FA Cup for Man United and get sacked a couple of days later. You don't get that necessarily with Leicester. I'm not saying, you know, we haven't sacked managers. Of course we have. But we are kind of more loyal than the so-called big boys. You know, ManCity have stuck with Pep. I agree. I accept that. But, you know, that's Pep for you. So, yes, he will go at some point, and we know he will go to a bigger club. And, you know, we accept that. And if he goes, he will go with our good wishes. And thanks for everything you've done. Like I say, back-to-back seasons in Europe. We've never had that before as a club. And let's FA Cup. FA Cup, you know, with 4 attempts, 4 losses. And we finally did it. You know, the guy is... It's like Claudio. He's up there with Claudio. He's up there with Martin O'Neill. Yeah, but if he goes, I'll wish him good luck. I don't think he will, and he won't go before the end of the season because he can't do that twice. He can't do it to Celtic and then do it to us. He will have a bit of a reputation. If he goes, it will be at the end of the season. He'll see it out with Leicester, see what he can do with Leicester this season, and then leave us with time to get somebody else in on the off-season.
Now, this game is an early kickoff on Saturday, and it is away at the King Power Stadium. That is something like of not a great omen for Chelsea. King Power away and an early kickoff on a Saturday, usually speaking, right? But it is league leaders after all. Top of the table versus, surprisingly, Leicester, 12th in the table. Wow, that's really surprising, right? But again, it is what it is. Having said that, Thomas Tuchel has just won the Manager of the Month. And we covered that. Check out the links below. You will find all the news. Plus, England beat Albania, one of the countries among the 2 victories that we had in the international break. My friend Ty Talks Chelsea has actually reminded me that England, the last time that they beat Albania was in March, and Thomas Tuchel won the Manager of the Month as well that time. And what happened? We lost 5-2 to West Bromwich Albion. So is it going to be an anomaly again? Looking at the head-to-heads, obviously, Chelsea have had the better of Leicester. Historically speaking, we have beaten Leicester, I think, on 15 occasions in the Premier League, and Leicester has beaten us on just 6 occasions, 9 being draws. But, a huge but, at Leicester, that is at King Power Stadium, the last time that Chelsea beat Leicester in the Premier League was September 2017 under Antonio Conte. Yes, the current Spurs manager, of course. But, when N'Golo Conte scored a winner, ex-Leicester player, some connection there, but a while back, and that is something, again, really to be wary of, because I think it's not just that. It is something about Leicester-Chelsea and Chelsea-Leicester games, right? And something's got to give, because obviously we all remember as Chelsea fans, of course, that we beat them at Stamford Bridge. I think it was 2-1 in the end of May, this particular year itself. It was a great game. Not just because of the result, and of course it helped us in getting top 4, but more importantly, it was a battle of the bridge. Yes, battle of the bridge part 2, I would say, almost, with all those Thiago Silva, Rudiger of the likes literally getting into fight, almost with the Leicester players, and Obviously, the reason was Daniel Amate, who had previously thrown Chelsea's flag, whatnot, and that is what he had done after when. Another drama. The big day for Leicester when Leicester beat Chelsea in the FA Cup final 1-0, but it could have been 1-1 with the last minute equalizer by an ex-Leicester player in Ben Chilwell, ruled out by VAR. I have to say, Leicester deserved the victory though. In the beginning of 2021, it was obviously Leicester teaching Chelsea a big lesson. It was actually at King Power, I remember, and that was under Frank Lampard that we lost 2-0. It was literally the last nail in the coffin of managerial stint of Lampard. In the past, they did the same to Jose Mourinho as well in 2016. We all remember that season. We shouldn't remember actually. But talking about more drama, I think the most recent point being Leicester and Chelsea, fighting on the last day of the season against different teams. But again, it was very close. If Leicester had not lost to Spurs, Chelsea may not be in the top four and not be in the Champions League if not for a victory in the Champions League. Yes, champions of Europe again. Chris, sorry about that, but just a reminder. But banter aside, Chris, why do you think Leicester always kind of turn up against Chelsea? Like, I know Leicester is a very good side. All respect to Brendan Rodgers and his side, but something kind of happens on the pitch always. It's been so long since Leicester has lost to Chelsea at home. The kind of episodes that we spoke about. What is it that really has them turn up and basically Chelsea not turn up against Leicester? And obviously there is some kind of scores to settle. I'm assuming at both ends, right?
Well, Leicester Chelsea. Do we turn up more for you guys than any other team? I don't think we do. I really don't think we do. We like playing the top six because you give us more space. You allow Vardy more space. He's got more goals against the so-called top six than any other player. I hate the top six phrase, but you all know what I mean if I say that. Are there some drama scores to settle? Look, you've got enough FA Cups. In fairness, we won the FA Cup. Had it been the other way round and we'd had a goal disallowed like you did, would I have been happy? No, of course I wouldn't. That was a typical VAR, and I think VAR in that instance is wrong. That said, the fact that it took the smile off Ben Chilwell's face was worth every single penny. I'm sorry, Ben, but we loved you. But yeah, you've got the wrong attitude, I'm afraid. So yes, I would have been annoyed. It was close, but they had to do that because they've been doing that all season, so they couldn't just change it then. So yes, I was in tears after we won that. I was with my son; he was in tears as well. But you went on to win the Champions League. Not a bad consolation prize, Ankit, was it? Oh dear, we've lost the FA Cup. Oh look, we've won quite deservedly. Won the Champions League. You really deserve that. Was there the drama at the end of the match after the FA Cup? Like I said earlier, yes, there probably was a little bit of handbags, but there's a lot right. We were trying to get in the Champions League, and it's funny that Leicester, we are disappointed that we came fifth. I'm actually happy we came fifth. If you'd given me fifth at the start of both seasons, I would have snapped your hand off. So I don't think the scores to settle. We beat you once last season. You got to change your manager. You came back and beat us, and I think you've got an absolutely brilliant manager. You're my tips to win the Premier League this season. I think you will do. And had you had Tuchel in all season before, I think you would have done it last season as well. So great manager. It's going to be a good game. We love Chelsea because of what you did for us against Spurs. Yes, we went on and beat Everton, obviously, so we'd have won it anyway. But guys, we love you for that. I don't particularly have any bad feelings towards Chelsea, but it's going to be because of the FA Cup, and it's amazing how many rivalries. I mean, we never used to have started. Sorry, how many rivalries have started recently? I mean, you've got the Forest, the Derby. The Coventry versus Leicester, rivalries. But the new rivalries that have been created since the Premier League, Arsenal were never rivals, but they beat us twice in the league when we won it. So that's kind of created. And Tottenham was never a rival, but Of course, they came third in a two-horse race, etc., etc. So there's a bit of rivalry there. So it's all modern. So, yeah, you've got a couple of our ex-players, so that adds into the pot as well. I'll come on to them later. But I don't think it's over rivalry. I like Chelsea. Like I say, all I will say is please be kind to us.
Not only that, certain players always do very well against Chelsea. Again, it is charity FC, like you all know. Sometimes we do that against opposition clubs, but certain players of Leicester, specifically Wilfred Ndidi. Ndidi is an awesome player. Like I like his gameplay, of course, but the fact that him getting 2 goals recently against Chelsea kind of proves that point, right? And then him turning up against Chelsea as a goal scorer, and then obviously Madison, Harvey Barnes, again very good players, I rate them, but the way they become Maradonas against Chelsea. Jamie Vardy, again a great player against most sides, so we won't be surprised, but he was the one who forced Tuchel to change his tactics, like what Chelsea did to Pep in the Champions League. I think Rodgers did to Tuchel in the FA Cup. Tuchel had to change, and basically because of Vardy he played Reece James at right centre back, if you all remember, right? That was something in itself. And last but not the least, Kasper Schmeichel. Again, a very good keeper, really highly rated for Denmark as well as for Leicester over the years. But against Chelsea, especially, he becomes Peter Schmeichel. Like, what is it, Chris? Anyway, considering this, and of course the Chelsea players, which are the couple of key battles on the pitch for you?
Players will always turn up against the bigger clubs, not on purpose, but just mentally. I think that, oh yes, we're playing Chelsea. When we were down in the third tier, and Leeds have said this, ManCity have said this, it's like a cup final for these teams that are down there all the time. When when we were down there, and they did put that little bit of extra effort in. Brentford, when the first time in the Premier League, are they going to put in a little bit more effort against Liverpool than they are against Norwich? I think yes, possibly they are. I think the thing is, though, like I touched on before, Chelsea, like Man City, Liverpool, United, etc., Arsenal, Tottenham, you allow us to play. You don't, park the bus. Well, not now. Mourinho's left, obviously. He's doing a European bus ride at the moment. But you allow us. You give us space to play, which Norwich, Brentford's, Burnley, they don't. But you guys, you give us that space, which Vardy loves. And like I said, that's why he scored more goals against top 6 sides than any other player, even including Harry Kane, who likes to play the lower team so he can score goals. San Marino. But so I think that's what it is. I don't think we necessarily turn up anymore, but we you do allow us to play. And I think that is the difference. Tactical battles, the two that spring to mind. I'm going to have ex-players in here, and one of those is Chilwell on the left and Ricardo up against Ricardo, or possibly Castagna, depending who he decides to go for. And I think it will be one of those two, and I think he will go for a 5, or if I don't think he'll go for the 3 or the 4. Is it Chilwell? His attitude was a little bit sort of, disrespectful to Leicester when he moved. But when he was at Leicester, a lot of Leicester fans didn't give him the benefit, the credit I think he deserved. If I'm honest with you, he was a good left back. While he was at Leicester, he was England's first choice left back. And we'd got fans saying he was rubbish. But yes, he had his faults, but we always like to pick on a player. Now it's Perez, then it was Chilwell. But, he's a good player. And he's proved that. Tuchel didn't particularly play him at the start when he came in. Now he is. He's playing well for England again. He's having a great season for you. He nearly got that goal against us in the final. And yes, I was glad it didn't go in because of the ex-Leicester connection. But, he's up against Ricardo, who, knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. So that's going to be very interesting down that left-hand side. Obviously, presuming both players play. And the other key battle I've gone to is the gladiatorial central defensive midfield battle. Kante up against Ndidi. Now, you were talking here, and, it said at Leicester that we never replaced Kante in as, that sort of player. And Kante is amazing. Again, left a bit of a bitter taste in the way he left. He couldn't wait to jump ship. But what a player, they used to say, or, Claudio Ranieri used to say, it's like having two players. He could almost put the ball in the box and be on the end of it himself. Like indeed, he's not going to get you 10 goals a season by any stretch of the imagination. But what he does superbly. For me, he's the best in that position. He just breaks things up. A decisive pass through to get you guys playing again, get you guys attacking. What a player. Lovely guy, always smiling. And then you've got Ndidi. He's wanted. Man United want him because they've got a central defensive midfielder problem. He's being called like the natural successor to Kante. And he's the nearest thing we've had since Kante. And I think he's being recognised as that in the Premier League. I think, a lot of punters and what have you are seeing that Ndidi will become the new Kante, because indeed he's still young. Not that Kante's old, of course, I should say that. But it's going to be very interesting to see who comes out on top on that one. Would I? You see, a lot of people have always said, "Would we take Kante back?" And yes, of course we would, in a flash, if we didn't have Ndidi. Would I sooner have Ndidi or Kante? Oh, that's a Daddy Chips question. I don't. I'd probably have to go for Ndidi at the moment. And you guys would obviously go for Kante, but that is going to be, for me, more so than the Chilwell Ricardo. That's the battle that I'm going to be interested in watching.
Let's talk about some team news. Fitness-wise, well, we are yet to hear from Thomas Tuchel while we are recording this video, but as of now, I have seen pictures, fingers crossed, of Timo Werner and Romelu Lukaku both training individually though. Does that mean they would start? Comment below. Do you see them starting, either of them? For me, if you ask me, I don't see them starting. Maybe Lukaku on the bench because we need him for this busy period coming ahead more so. And also, I think Christian Pulisic, he would also be on the bench just like Lukaku. Christian Pulisic more so because of the travel. I know he's had a successful international break with the US national team. Kudos to him, but I think the fact that he'll be traveling and coming back, cannot see him starting as well. Similar to Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva, I don't know what is it about Brazil games, like they are so oddly kind of placed in terms of timing, and obviously that'll take a hit with Thiago Silva not featuring, I believe, and Azpilicueta as well to an extent because he was away for Spain. At his age, I think I won't kind of risk him again considering the busy period coming up, right? That's what I would say. Kovacic is not yet fit from what I know. Fingers crossed, again, he is coming back soon. Let's hope for the Champions League game. And I think Mason Mount, yes, Mason Mount may be on the bench. I know that he had a recent surgery and had to kind of, withdraw from the England squad, giving our man Conor Gallagher a chance indirectly. But yes, having that tooth surgery, I think, will definitely have him kind of being rested or maybe on the bench at best. Jorginho. Now, Jorginho is a person who's played lots of football but has had a very bad international break. He will really want to forget this international break, but more so he'll be really low. I would not see him kind of starting just for these reasons. And again, like Chris, all these put together, like, do you think it's a good time to play Chelsea, that we are possibly missing a lot of players, or it's because of Rodgers' story that you believe that the stadium atmosphere will be mixed and it's probably not a good time to play Chelsea?
Is there ever a good time to play Chelsea in this season? Nah, there's not a good time to play Chelsea this season, and certainly not with the 12:30 kickoff. We had one of those last Sunday, and Arsenal did us. So we don't. Hopefully Leicester won't leave waking up until the second half, and we'll actually set the alarm clocks for Saturday morning. I don't know. I don't think there's ever a good time to play a team. Is we beat Man United because we happen to be better on the day, not Could you say, well, it's a good time to play a team after they've played in Europe? Now we've got the extra day till the Sunday. I don't think necessarily that affects us. The league is, and you'll see the fact of how badly I am scoring in our prediction league show. I'm bottom out of 3. Even Steve Linus has got more than me last week, so that's how bad I'm doing. But it is so hard to predict things this season because I thought this would be the season when things would get back to normal. We've had a couple of seasons when we've had COVID, ruling the roost, and the football's been out the window, and but you got new managers coming in. More managers been sacked this season so far than the whole of last season. Fans are back, but it is still a topsy-turvy league, and that's why we love it. That's why we love it. Everybody was saying, "Oh, Leicester, you're going to finish 5th again." Well, who knows? It's not looking good at the moment, but anybody can be. And look at Brentford beating Arsenal. We came in, played. You gave you a good game. If you hadn't had a different goalkeeper, you could have easily lost that. They gave Liverpool a good game, and then you got Norwich. Anybody, can literally beat anybody on the day. So I don't think there is a good time to play. And with Rodgers, if you're a good manager, he's what I remember the season we won the Premier League. Manchester City came out. I think there was about 10, 11 games to go, maybe 7 or 8. But they came out and they went, "We're not renewing Manuel Pellegrini's contract." Well, then that totally loses any respect that guy has in the dressing room, any control. Because he goes in and he gives a rollicking to one of his players, and that player's going to go, "You're not going to be here next season. I'm going to be here longer than you. Why should I listen to you?" But I think the rumours about, "Are you going?" don't have the same effect because you're still the manager. You're still in that position. And Rodgers is a good manager. He can handle players very well. We've seen with the way he handled the Maddison and Chowdhury COVID party situation last season. He is a player's manager. So, no, I don't think it will affect him. I just think the form will affect the result, but I don't think that will necessarily affect it at all.
For Leicester, Chris, I know that Fofana is out for a long time and let's see, if he can come back early. But yes, James Justin, that's the story. From what I've read reports, James Justin might be back to training. So, Chris, do you see James Justin making an early comeback against Chelsea or at least featuring on the bench?
Oh, James Justin, him and Fofana, we so miss them. Now, James Justin, no, he won't start. No way. It's not Rodgers' way of doing things. When Maddison was ill and came back from illness, he started, off the bench. He comes on. It's too risky to start a player. I don't, if he's on the bench, brilliant. He might not even be on the bench. I don't know how far down that sort of ladder he is, if you like. I mean, just looking here, he started training with us again, and he could be in the team very soon. So he could. I would have him on the bench. I don't think Brendan will risk him from the start because it's a tough game. This, and no disrespect, for playing Norwich, maybe a different situation, but no, I can't see him starting. Depending how the game's going, he may come on afterwards, but I think this is too big a game for him. I think it's just maybe get a cameo appearance, in the last 10 minutes or something. Yeah, more than likely the bench Ankit on that one.
Any other news, Chris, about injuries that you know of from the Leicester squad? I heard that I think Tielemans, who injured recently. So I doubt if Tielemans will be really available. And similarly, I think Harvey Barnes and Albrighton are injured as well. But I think the latter two might be fit, you think?
Fofana, we're missing him so much. We really, really are. But, he's ahead of schedule. And that's amazing. I mean, it's amazing what players can do. Vardy, on the other hand, when he gets injured because he's a bit older, it takes a bit longer to get ready. But he's going to be after Christmas. We won't see him before Christmas. Even on the bench, I don't think. Mark Albrighton, he's not going to be playing. He was what is it with when we play foreign teams? Villarreal and Fofana, Spartak Moscow and Mark Albrighton. It's going to be 2 or 3 weeks out minimum, which will be a shame for him. But he's not. I love Mark Albrighton to bits. He gives 100% when he comes on, but he's not necessarily a starter for us. I think we've got Lookman to fill that role. Perez, if we really need to. So he was very much come on for the last 10 minutes when the defence is tiring and ping some balls in there, and that's his, a great role for him. But yeah, he's not. Unfortunately, he's going to be ruled out. Ryan Bertrand, knee injury, he's ruled out. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but another defender that's out. We're going to have Luke Thomas probably in that position, or we might see Castagna, but he's obviously been playing in Belgium this week, for Belgium, I should say, against Wales. So he will play on that side, and Vieira, Ricardo on the other side. So we'll wait, I think it will be Castagna, to be honest with you, against Chelsea, simply because of who you are. Yuri, he's got the record for the most Premier League games without being ruled out, and he's 50% apparently. Got a bit of a calf, shin, heel injury. All of them. His calf was a little bit sore a week ago. It's a little bit of a worry, but we'll still have to see what he looks like after a scan, was what Brendan Rodgers said a week ago. But it's been another week. He didn't play for Belgium midweek, which is good for us. So hopefully he will be back, because he's a big part of the team this season.
Okay, going by these and the recent setups, this is what the Leicester City team should be against Chelsea on Saturday. You fantasy managers out there, what do you think? Do comment below. And talking about the setup and the lineup, Chelsea, in my opinion, would line up this way. See, most players pick themselves, right? As in, because of their recent form, and of course, like we spoke about, people returning from internationals, the travels, the injuries, and whatnot, right? And of course, we have to highlight a couple of people, obviously, playing against Leicester, their ex-club. So maybe it'll give a chance for players like Ziyech to again prove themselves. Of course, along with Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and in my opinion, Chalobah. This is a time when probably they need to be part of the squad and proving how much we needed that big squad. I really believe so. Ross Barkley, well, he started against Burnley. I wouldn't play him because I think against Leicester, tactically I would actually have more width, and I would probably have some variation in Ziyech instead. That's just me. What do you think? Do comment below. What are your lineups against Leicester City, and of course the Leicester City lineups for you neutrals out there, as well as your fantasy managers. By the way, Kai Havertz, I would continue with him. I know that he's missed chances recently as well, but he has scored too, right? Both for club and country. And Romelu Lukaku anyway isn't 100% fit in my opinion. Hey, it's prediction time, right? Chris, I know Leicester has had a blip recently. Chelsea as well, but Chelsea just got a draw against Burnley. Leicester on the other side have had, I think, a draw against Leeds away, as well as the big loss at home to Arsenal. Surely they'll turn up, right? Against Chelsea at home again, they cannot lose twice. What do you think? What are your score predictions?
This season, like I say, it's a funny one for a lot of teams. It's almost like a reality check for us this season. We finished 5th twice, and this is almost like, well, hang on, other clubs are coming now. Your West Hams, your Arsenals are coming back, your Tottenhams. So it was always going to be a lot harder this season. We got the draw against. We're not beating the teams that we should be beating. We didn't beat Palace. We were 2-0 up. We didn't beat Leeds. We managed to beat Brentford. Tough game like you guys had. Of course, we beat ManUtd, caught them on a bad day, and we lost to a resurgent Arsenal. So I don't know whether we will come back or not. I just can't predict anything. The only thing I can say about Leicester this season is that we are consistently inconsistent. That that is the saying this season. We are consistently inconsistent, and that is what life is like being a Leicester City fan. Score prediction. Do you know what? I've got to go. I can never vote against my team winning. But like I say, I've got you down to win the league. You're in great form. You know, I mean, you know, let's just, you know, if we have a look, it's frightening. You know, I mean, yes, you know, you got a draw against Burnley. What happened? You know, that messed me predictions up. But you know, you before that, Southampton, you'd beaten them. Brentford, like I say, I know it was close, but you beat them. Norwich, well, you just took them to the cleaners, didn't you? You know, and Newcastle. Again, you know, if you weren't winning those two games, then you shouldn't be challenging for the Premier League in your position. But I don't know. Burnley showed that you can be stopped. But I'm gonna go for a draw. I'm gonna go 2-2. I can't vote. I can't see us winning because you are doing so well at the moment. If you give me a point now, would I be happy? Yeah, thank you very much. I'd bite your hand off. So no, but I can't say that we're ever going to lose. I'll never predict that. So I'm going to go for a 2-2. And I think it could be. I think, you know, if we look at that Burnley game and how they played against you, and we can adopt those tactics, even you know, Dan the Burnley man said that, you know, we could get something if we play like that. So I'm going to go for the 2-2 draw. And you never know. We might just sneak it. Fingers crossed.
Interesting. Well, I'd go for a Chelsea win. Finally away at Leicester after so long. And for me, it's got to be the player who scored thrice against Leicester in recent times, Antonio Rudiger. I think he'll get the first goal, and it will be Christian Pulisic coming off the bench and scoring the winner in a 2-1 away victory. Again, guys, do comment your score predictions and let us know what you all think. Let's see. Let's hope for a good game. Certainly with EPL being back in this 12th game week, that is all we are waiting for, really. Chris, thank you again for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Of course, always a pleasure to have Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on Almighty Blues FC. Again, any final thoughts, Chris? And of course, feel free to plug in your channel as well.
No, Ankit, you know, it's been great. Thanks for having me on again. You know, I love you, mate. You got a great channel here. Give this guy some support and follow this channel and subscribe to him. He's a great man. Even if he loves cricket, we'll forgive him that bit. Sorry, mate. But yeah, it's my channels. I'm all over the place. Just started up on TikTok. So if you want to hear a couple of clips, there's not whole shows, obviously, on TikTok. Just a few of the funny ones. If you want to see Maisie from ManUtd wetting herself laughing. If you want to see Brad predicting that North Macedonia are going to win the Euros and stuff like that, bit of fun. Then and a certain ex-Leicester player saying which two teams he hates. Please give us a follow on that. We've literally only just started that up yesterday, and it's LTID for Leicester Till I Die. LTID TV. So all the letters, LTID TV. Twitter, it's at Leicester Till I Die, TID, sorry, at Leicester TID. And please, we don't just cover Leicester. We do a lot of different things on the channel. Tonight we did a special with, or Tuesday, sorry, we did a special with an ex-player, and we talk about all things football. We've got a prediction show Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. So we do a lot of non-Leicester stuff. Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube. Please give us a subscribe. Ankit, great channel, great mate, great guy. Thanks for having me on. Stay safe, buddy. And I'm sorry, but I hope you lose. Not going to lie. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Again, a great channel. The links are below. And for all of you who've liked the content, who've liked this video, do not forget to subscribe. If you have not subscribed, please do consider and press that bell notification icon. You will know whenever we are live or coming up with a new video. Stay tuned for many more uploads, and till then, take care and share the link because it certainly helps.